Hi, today we're going to show you how to replace your tie rod ends. I'll be replacing them on my Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. We're going to begin on the driver's side. We're going to go ahead and loosen all the lug nuts on the wheel. Then we're going to go ahead and jack up the vehicle, remove all the lug nuts so we could remove the wheel. That way we'll have access to the driver's side tie rod end. I can't emphasize safety enough. When jacking up your vehicle, only jack it up on the frame. And when placing it on jack stands, also only place it on the frame. If you do place your jack or jack stands on any other parts, you may cause considerable amount of damage. Before removing our tie rod ends, we're going to go ahead and measure from one tie rod end to the other tie rod end and get as precise as a measurement as we possibly can get to where the threads are at. And also, once we have dropped down one end of the tie rod end, we're going to go ahead and count how many spins it takes to remove the tie rod end. That way, when you go to reinstall the new tie rod end, you'll put it back as close as possible to reduce the odds of having your vehicle needing to be aligned. Once you've went ahead and loosened this nut, we're ready to try to drop down the tie rod end. Like I explained earlier, once you remove the cotter pin, go ahead and loosen the castle nut. Sometimes you're able to hit it with a sledgehammer to be able to get the tie rod end to drop down. If not, at most home improvement stores or auto parts stores, for under $10, you could buy this tool that you're going to slip in right underneath here and hit it with a sledgehammer as hard as you can. That will make your tie rod end drop down. You don't have to worry about damaging the boot because your new tie rod end will come with it. After you've went ahead and dropped down the tie rod end, go ahead and clip a vice grip on one end of the tie rod and also one on the bar so you're able to hold it back while turning it loose. Make sure you count the number of revolutions it takes to remove the tie rod end. That way when you go to install the new tie rod end, you install it in the same exact position, reducing the chance of having to have the vehicle aligned. Make sure you have no debris on the tie rod end threads so it goes in smoothly. When you're removing the tie rod end, make sure you turn it clockwise to remove it. Now that you've went ahead and reinstalled your new tie rod end at the same exact measurement you removed the old one, go ahead and reinstall your castle nut, then go ahead and install the cotter pin. Now you're ready to tighten this back up. After that is complete, go ahead and grease your zerk fitting. Now you're ready to reinstall your wheel and we'll work on the other tie rod end. Ready to go ahead and remove the other tie rod end. We're going to start by removing the cotter pin, then we're going to go ahead and loosen the nut and we're going to try to tap it again with the hammer to get it to pop out. And if it doesn't pop out, we'll go ahead and use the fork tool to force it out. And if we have to go ahead and use the fork tool, we'll go ahead and install it over here right on the rubber boot, which we don't have to worry about damaging it because we are going to be replacing the tie rod end, and we'll go ahead and hit that with a sledgehammer and that will help it pop out. You'll do the same process to remove this tie rod end as the first tie rod. You'll count the number of revolutions it takes to remove the tie rod end and install the new one the same amount of turns. This will hopefully cut down the odds of possibly having the vehicle need to be aligned. You'll also loosen up this nut the same as you did on the other tie rod end so you're able to remove it. Go ahead and install your new tie rod back. Put it on the same amount of revolutions as you took the old one off, and now we're ready to install it back on. Now that we've slid it back on the shaft, we're ready to go ahead and put back on our castle nut and cotter pin. Then we'll go ahead and tighten back down on this bolt over here. We're going to go ahead and loosen this bolt on the steering knuckle so we can remove the tie rod end. Once again, don't forget how many turns it takes to remove the tie rod end so you install the new one in the same exact place to help avoid the possibility of needing alignment. Now we're ready to do the last tie rod that is connected to the pitman arm. We'll start by going ahead and removing this cotter pin and loosening up the nut, and we'll try to tap down the tie rod end with a hammer to see if we could break it free. If not, we'll go ahead and use the fork tool to force it out. Now that we've went ahead and reinstalled the nut, torqued it back down, put on our cotter pin, and retightened down our steering knuckle, we're complete. You might possibly have to bring in your vehicle for alignment. Otherwise, if your vehicle's not aligned properly, you could be going through tires, and that could be very expensive. And it could be cheaper to align it than the cost of replacing all your tires. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and click on the link below to visit our website. Thank you.